It is Friday, May 2nd, 2025, and the entire fate in this breaking story of American democracy may actually come down to three people. And no, I'm not trying to scare you, but instead of ending my video with Stay Frosty, I'm saying Stay Frosty right now. Because the reality is, when it comes to the Supreme Court and Donald Trump, we are facing, in ways, a constitutional crisis already, simply because of the political makeup of the party and what we've already seen from some of the votes that have occurred since they were all confirmed as justices, and now especially with Trump into his second term after 100 days. Be reminded of what Justice Alito just said in a dissent regarding a Trump desire and deportation. Take a quick listen to this, and I'm going to show you the story in a few seconds.
And tonight, the fate of detainees being held at a detention center in North Texas remains in limbo. The Supreme Court taking emergency action this weekend to temporarily block their removal from the U.S. But as ABC's Selena Wang reports, the Trump administration is appealing that ruling.
The Trump administration is asking the Supreme Court to roll back its decision to block the deportation of a group of Venezuelan migrants. They're being held at a detention center in Texas under the Alien Enemies Act, a centuries-old wartime law that provides little or no due process. Solicitor General John Sauer calling the court's decision premature. The administration also asking the justices to limit the order to only pause removals under the Alien Enemies Act, not under other authorities. The highest court issuing the ruling shortly after midnight on Saturday, just hours after the ACLU filed an emergency appeal. Justices Samuel Alito and Clarence Thomas releasing their dissent, calling the order unprecedented and legally questionable relief. President Trump's border czar telling ABC News the administration is following the law.
We're using the laws on the books, the statutes on the books, to secure the border and remove significant public safety threats and national security threats to this country.
No, actually, Tom Homan, you're not following the law. You're taking a law and gerrymandering and twisting it to try and use it in the way you want to.
ACLU's lead attorney accuses the administration of unilaterally claiming people are gang members, but not giving them the chance to go to court and show they're not.
We know that multiple people have been erroneously tagged as members of this gang, but once they get to a Salvadoran prison, they may never get out for the rest of their life.
The Alien Enemies Act was invoked back in March to deport Venezuelan migrants to a prison in El Salvador, among them Kilmar Abrego Garcia, who the administration has admitted was erroneously deported.
My mission and my purpose is to make sure that we uphold the rule of law, because if we take it away from him, we do jeopardize it for everybody else.
It's going to be very hard to dissuade Alito, Thomas, Gorsuch, and Kavanaugh from going against Donald Trump, or one of those two, along with Coney Barrett and John Roberts. And in this breaking story, please listen to what Ketanji Brown-Jackson just had the absolute balls and soul to state as a Supreme Court justice. Here it is.
Justice Ketanji Brown-Jackson has forcefully condemned Trump's attacks on judges. Supreme Court justice gets standing ovation for breaking cover to attack Trump. Enough is enough. Supreme Court Justice Ketanji Brown-Jackson received a standing ovation on Thursday after denouncing the Trump administration's relentless attacks on federal judges, calling them a threat to the rule of law. Across the nation, judges are facing increased threats of not only physical violence, but also professional retaliation just for doing our jobs, Jackson told a conference of judges in Puerto Rico. And the attacks are not random. They seem designed to intimidate those of us who serve in this critical capacity. Although she did not mention Donald Trump by name, Jackson's remarks were addressed to the elephant in the room, following repeated attacks on the judiciary by the president and his allies. Her 18-minute denunciation is the strongest statement yet by any member of the Supreme Court since the start of Trump's second term. In March, Trump derided Judge James Boasberg as a troublemaker and a radical left lunatic after he ruled against the illegal deportation of Venezuelans to El Salvador. House Republicans have sought to impeach at least 6 judges who blocked key parts of the president's agenda. Earlier this month, a Wisconsin County Court judge was arrested by the FBI after allegedly helping an undocumented immigrant evade arrest. Other judges who defied the administration have faced bomb threats and threats of physical violence. Several judges have faced a slew of intimidation tactics designed to send a message that their home addresses are publicly known, including a New Jersey judge who received a pizza addressed to her murdered son. Top Trump advisor Stephen Miller has also railed against a cabal of communist judges who are determined to keep terrorists in the country, while Elon Musk called for judges who defy the president to be impeached in a post on X. The attacks are also not isolated incidents, Jackson told the assembled judges on Thursday night. That is, they impact more than just individual judges who are being targeted. Rather, the threats and harassment are attacks on our democracy, on our system of government, and they ultimately risk undermining our Constitution and the rule of law, Politico reports. She added, "A society in which judges are routinely made to fear for their own safety or their own livelihood due to their decisions is one that has substantially departed from the norms of behavior that govern a democratic system. Attacks on judicial independence is how countries that are not free, not fair, and not rule of law oriented operate." Jackson received a standing ovation from the room of legal insiders. She pointed to similar attacks on judges who issued controversial rulings during the civil rights movement and the Watergate scandal. Other judges have faced challenges like the ones we face today and have prevailed, she said.
From the highest court in the land screams that loud, out loud, yes, we can't stop the protests. Yes, we don't want to stop the rallies. No, we don't want to quit saying hands off us, hands off our private information, hands off of Medicaid and Social Security. We do not want to stop any of that. But understand, it is going to have to create so much pressure that 1, 2, or 3 of the people sitting on that bench, when you have those 9 people that decide what we do and what we become, that we manage to get at least 2 or 3 of them to stay on the side of logic and democracy. Guys, have a good weekend. See you soon.